So here is a 3D printed phone stand that I just printed. Somebody bought this off my Etsy store. So here is another one, and I printed this last night. Took about 6 hours and used about maybe 30 to 40 grams of filament. And so there's a whole kilogram, 1,000 grams on a spool. So that's not too bad for a print like this. And so it's pretty sturdy. You know, I'm putting pretty good pressure amount of weight on it, so it can support a good hefty phone like the iPhone 13 Max and some of the Samsung ones. So what I wanted to do this weekend was I have my new business cards here that I got, and so I wanted to create a card holder for it. And so here in Blender I have a business card dimensions, and then I around it designed just a very interesting designed curvy card holder for it. So I wanted to create a base and a top to it and create a cutout in the middle to kind of give it some unique shape and not all straight lines. And so you just use some Boolean modifiers, and so you're able to get kind of the exact shape and design that you want. So after I'm all done with that, I just create and export it to STL and send it on to Cura, and that just tells the 3D printer how to print the design. So I wanted to make sure that I got the correct dimensions for a business card, and then I appropriately measured out how big I want the card holder. So over here now I have the print on the 3D printer. You can see that it's just going layer by layer, and I had to rotate it on its side. Despite all of the curves it has, there's a lot of overhangs if you try to print it right side up. And so I had to get pretty clever with the way that I position the print on its side. And fortunately it came out that way. I designed it first, not really worrying too much about how I would position it on the print bed. Sometimes you get into trouble and you need lots of supports, but in this situation I think I was able to position it pretty well and not have to use supports. So at the very top of this model, these struts are going to have to come back as all one piece, and so there is going to be a slight bridging going on at the very top of the model. I'll probably have to sand that along with all the other edges here. The 3D printer isn't perfect, and so I'm going to have to sand a lot of the excess material that has stuck to the print. That's not too bad. You can't expect perfection from a budget 3D printer like a Ender 3 Pro. You can get down to 0.12 millimeters in size for printing. So this is a 0.2 nozzle, and it's melting the filament down pretty good to the 0.2. I'm sorry, this is a 0.4 nozzle, and so you can melt it down to 0.12 thickness. So it's melting it down pretty good, and so sometimes there's some overlap or accidental stringing going on. Despite my tweaking of settings in Cura, the app that just tells the 3D printer how far to go in left or right, or left or right. So the z-axis is up and down, and so it just knows to raise up the extruder 0.12 millimeters on each layer. Hopefully that makes sense. I know I don't have too many visuals for you, but stay tuned and I will show you guys the finished print here later on today.